I know some of you was wondering why I didn't do a video about Stanley passing. It's because it hit me hard. I know y'all saying, wait a minute, this guy is 95 years old. He lived a long life. You didn't know him personally. Well, I didn't know Michael Jackson personally. That hit me hard. I didn't know Prince. I didn't know Natalie Cole. I didn't know a lot of these people, but they touched our lives in so many ways. And a little black kid growing up on the west side of Chicago, those characters that he co-created with many other uh, artists and writers touched us in some way. But Stan Lee was the one that reignited the comic book industry. A lot of people don't know that the comic books had got a bad name during the 1950s. This psychiatrist, I forget his name, Wortham. I forget this. I think his first name is Frederick Wortham. But I think somebody will correct me in the comment section if I got it wrong. Was basically saying that comics was rotting children's minds. Now, mind you, comics was sent as reading material during the war. You know, I mean, I know that everybody who fought in the war wasn't 18 or 17 or 19. You had guys in their 20s and, even their 30s. You had officers reading comic books. Matter of fact, when I went to Iraq, Marvel did the same thing, sent a bunch of comics over, and I think DC as well. Comics have been a part of our life. They are modern mythology. They take all those fantasies that we have and they've been put on paper. Everybody wants to fly. Everybody wants to save the day. Everybody wants to save the girl or get the guy. They want to be Black Widow or the She-Hulk. They want to be an Incredible Hulk or Batman or Superman or Spider-Man. Stan Lee saved the industry basically in the 1960s. He decided, let's give these colorful characters real problems. And that was the start of the Marvel age. Now, when I got introduced to Stan Lee, it was 1981. It was on NBC's. NBC was airing Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And at the beginning of the cartoon, you hear a guy kind of, "This is Stan Lee, and this episode of Spider-Man is Amazing Friends, Excelsior." And then he would narrate the Incredible Hulk show that used to come right behind it. Then when I started reading comic books or got reacquainted with comic books a little bit more, I started seeing Stan's soapbox on Marvel Age. Started seeing his image more. So by the time I saw his face or recognized him, like I knew when I saw when the Return of the Incredible Hulk or when they had Daredevil and Kingpin, Stan Lee was in the jurors. It was a quick flash, but I knew that who Stan Lee was. Stan Lee sold not just Marvel, but DC and other comics. I mean, for a man to be that age, he was so enthusiastic. Even if he wasn't, he still active as he was. He was the ambassador of comics. Because of him, a lot of us who read comics didn't feel nerdy or geeky anymore. Bob Kane didn't do that for comics. Bob Kane did not do that for comics. Jack Kirby tried, but at that time they wasn't taking comics seriously. Schuster and Siegel, who created Superman, they had died in the 90s. They didn't get a chance to go out there and do it because they got screwed over so bad. But Stan the Man Lee, he went out there and said, "Okay, this is what I created, this or co-created. I want the world to see what it's about." Do you think Sam always wanted to talk about comic books? No. But he knew that's where his bread was buttered, and he knew that he inspired a generation of men and women. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of the movie writers and directors and artists and makeup people was influenced by comic books. A lot of the technology was influenced by comic books and science fiction. The stuff that we saw in comic books and science fiction, we do it today. I mean, now we have screens that you can talk back to a person. Stuff you used to see on Transformers and G.I. Joe or in comic books. I mean, look at the technology that we have today. There was writers like Stanley and them came up with, and now it's everyday use. So I say to Mr. Lee, thank you. Now you're with your wife, Joan, in eternal rest. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Last year when I heard that Joan died, I noticed that's when Stanley's health problems started to increase. He lost his life mate. And he was doing interviews, and then that Me Too shit started, and they tried to Me Too him. Yeah, a 90-something-year-old man they tried to meet too. Yeah, but nonetheless, he kept on. He kept going. He did as much as he could. He gave interviews. He talked. I mean, everybody was looking for him to cameo in the movie. Practically every Marvel movie he's cameoed in at some point, or he spoke highly of it. And also, he was a defender of civil rights. He wanted to see black characters in comics. He didn't want to dumb them down. He wanted them to be there because he said, "Hey, we're part of America. We're part of this planet like anybody else." He was one of the few that defended Blade and spoke highly of Wesley Snipes. He never shitted on Wesley Snipes. When Black Panther did what it did early this year, he was just enthusiastic. Think about it. Think about what this man has done for the industry. DC Comics is rival, been his rival for years. Even had to take time out and acknowledge this man. There was a time back in the what was that? Just Imagine when Stan recreated Superman if he created Superman or Wonder Woman or Batman, if he had his opportunity to create those characters. The man was still prolific, not like he was in the 60s or early 70s, but he was still out there pushing Marvel. Even though when Marvel, he had to sue Marvel. Because think about it, Disney has made billions of dollars off Marvel of his properties. Sony has, Universal, so many companies have made money off this man's creations. And he's influenced us. Because of comics, his creations, I learned how to read. Most kids who learn how to read and read well, comic books. He made comics go to the next level. He made people treat them as actual literature. But that brings me to that point. Bill Maher once again put his foot in his mouth. Now let me tell you something. Stanley was born Stanley Lieber. Stanley Lieber, if I remember correctly. And the reason why he didn't use his birth name because he thought he was going to be a great American writer. So he didn't want to. And at the time, comics had a stigma, so he took the Stanley and made it Stan Lee. And Bill Maher, who's another so-called Jewish guy, always taking digs at people like he's the smartest motherfucker in the room, but he's not. Now, other day it was reported that Bill Maher took a shot at Stanley and the people who read comics, and basically said that the people that read comics is the reason why Donald Trump is in office. No, Donald Trump is in office because of racism. Donald Trump is in office because of white Americans' arrogance. Not because of Spider-Man or Hulk or Captain America or Superman or Wonder Woman, any of those characters that was created through the comic book industry. He took a shot at a 95-year-old man who done nothing to him but entertain the masses of Americans or people around the globe. This man was known around the globe. There are people in Iraq who know who Stanley is. There are people in Africa who know who Stanley is. There are people in Brazil who know who Stanley is. Or excuse me, was, I should say. Bill Maher, not so much. See, Bill, you sit back and talk about immature. You own the Mets. Isn't that a baseball game considered a kid's game? Don't they have an age limit for it? You go around talking about smoking marijuana. You're supposed to be a 60-something-year-old man and still talking about smoking weed. That's what young kids do. That's what kids in college, high school age do. Young adults do. But this is not the first time Bill Maher shitted on comics or the people make. And that's a group of people in Hollywood that shits on comics. They mad, and the reason why they mad is because when Hollywood come and knocking, they ain't knocking on the door. But the thing is, Bill Maher did answer. If you go look at, I think, Spider-Man 3, if I'm not mistaken, he's in there. If at least it's been a while since I watched it, or at least it's deleted part, but he's in that movie. He was willing to get a paycheck and get a cut of being in Spider-Man 3. He was cool with that, and I'm pretty sure he went to a premiere or two when Batman them came out in various movies back in the day. I mean, why are you shitting on the people that like something? I mean, we can do that same argument for people like football or anything. He said 20 years ago, somebody said it's cool to read comics, and people who read them, there's something wrong with them. Wow. Wow. You still telling sophomore jokes. You still shit jokes and using words like motherfucker and shit. That's immature. See, it's funny how somebody else like to call something. I never shit on what people like. NASCAR, I mean, I get it, but I'm not going to shit on it. Golf, I mean, I understand it all went through, but I'm not going to crap on it. Tennis, I mean, I understand all the ins and outs of it, but I'm not going to knock it. Everybody got what they like, but I think what it is, the so-called nerds, or those of us who consider geeks, for the last, 10 years or so, actually 20, let's go back to BiII. 20 years or so, we've been the voice and the voice in the face of the industry. I mean, look at this San Diego Comic Con. That was strictly for comic books and sci-fi fans. Now, TV shows are dropping there. Movies, upcoming movies and plays. And yet, I didn't hear any comic book fans saying, hey, we don't want HBO here. We don't want to talk about this show or that show. We don't want to hear nothing about these talk shows. We strictly here for comics and science fiction and horror. What it is this is Bill Maher's part of that dude. He used to fuck with the kids that read him, or he was one of those kids that they got picked on, and he's bitter that he's out of sync with it, and he's mad because somebody was honoring this dude. But see, Stan Lee didn't go around shitting on people. If Stan Lee thought something, he never said it publicly. Bill is a prick, man. This dude kicks people down. The man has fans, and he's mad that people all over the world. I mean, think about it. When Stan Lee died, everybody talked about it. Everybody, people that never really read comics know who the fuck Stan Lee is. But when Bill Maher, when you die, they're gonna say, Bill Maher dead. And that's what pisses him off. See, you always got that so-called person, you get what I mean, always trying to outdo everybody else. What it is, he had nothing better to talk about. I mean, this is not the first time Bill shitted on comic fans. When Supergirl, I think Supergirl may have been on maybe a year or two. He did his monologue about shitting on comic fans. He says it's too many superhero movies. It's too many. I don't hear nobody say it's too many comedies. I don't hear nobody say it's too many action movies or romantic movies or whatever. Right now, this is happening people like. And if people go spend their money and watch that, fine. But to sit here and dump on the people that watch it and people just paying respects to a man that gave so much joy and pleasure to us, come on, man. That just mean spirit, man. Stick to criticizing Donald Trump and politicians, telling your lame ass jokes. But see, let me tell you, so you're gonna go too far. And HBO, and remember, and my Bill, you work for HBO. HBO is Warner Brothers, but actually it's AT&T. No AT&T old DC Comics, right? So you're fucking with your company's brands. So in taking shots at Stanley, you're taking shots at way DC as well. Remember, AT&T owns Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers and them, they control with DC Comics and shit. Remember, on that lot that you work at, I think it's at CBS. He may actually be at the Warner Brothers lot. But if you go to the Warner Brothers lot, they got DC Entertainment or DC Comics, whatever they name it now, sitting on that very lot. And the powers that be over there can stop bitching and moaning. So don't get too comfortable, man, because you're gonna have because I know a lot of people are pissed. But taking pot shots at a man that died, come on, man. You're supposed to be better than that. But see, this is what gets me. This is how we keep talking about the people in these other countries being savage and mean spirit, but this dude is mean spirit. He's arrogant. See, let me tell you what it is. He got away with shit. He didn't hide behind comedy. He talks all that shit. Get him by himself. He'll shit his pants. He would literally shit his pants. Remember Wayne Brady threatened to kick your ass? He stopped talking shit. He didn't got a little too comfortable. Now a lot of people say, "Oh, he old man, like 60 years old." Bullshit. This motherfucker know what he's saying. Hell, my father's not a comic book fan, and he felt sad the other day because he knew this is what I like and what the rest of the family like, and he's enjoyed the Stan Lee product because he was a kid in the '60s reading them off and on. He used to watch The Incredible Hulk back in the day when I was a shorty when it was first ran. My father actually liked watching the Hulk. He loves watching Blade, even though Stan Lee didn't create Blade, but was under the Marvel banner. Man, I just had to say that. So, I just had to get that off my chest. But once again, Mr. Lee, rest in peace. You with your wife, Joan. Y'all rest in eternal peace. And thank you for giving us so many years of entertainment. And Bill Maher, fuck off.